spreadsheet that's on the shared drive. For me to go and print all the.
It was fast. I learned a lot.
So I go and, I use the spreadsheet that I have on my computer, but it hasn't been updated with those addresses, so that was, it was just my mistake, I didn't want to say.
Okay.
I'll order the Stevensville Special Town Council meeting for Thursday, August 6, 2026. If you please call the roll, Janelle.
Councilmember Bailey. Present. Councilmember Ross.
Present.
Councilmember Wadler.
Present.
Councilmember Smith.
Here.
And Mayor Cruz.
So am I, I'm here. Okay, if you'll please join me for the pledge of allegiance. Karen, would you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is public comment from citizens on any item that is not on the agenda under the jurisdiction of the town council. Okay, hearing none, we'll move to the new business. Item A, discussion decision approval of FAA grant agreement for the Stevensville Airport Taxi Lane Rehabilitation Project. Brian, you're up.
Thank you for meeting tonight. So this is the grant agreement. So we've been talking about this grant. They issued this grant to us a year and a half ago, but last year, by the time they got all the funding and everything wrapped up, and all their paperwork wrapped up, it was too late for us to go and bid or to contract this job out. So anyway, so this job got pushed to this year. So we bid it out this year. The winning contractor was Howell Contractor out of Butte. Anyways, so this is the grant agreement now. So this is what we have to sign so that they give us the money to go and perform the project. So we've approved this at different times and in different steps along the way, but this is the last bit of paperwork that we have to sign for the FAA. So this is a similar, we have to do this with every grant that we've received for decades now, but this is just their steps. So,
Any questions from the council? Okay, any public comment? Okay, could I get a motion? Councilmember Smith.
I move to approve the FAA grant agreement between the Stevensville Airport Taxi Lane Rehabilitation Project.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the FAA grant agreement for the Stevensville Airport Taxi Lane Rehabilitation Project. Is there a second? Councilmember Wander. So the first and second on the floor to approve the FAA grant agreement for the Stevensville Airport Taxi Lane Rehabilitation Project. Is there any further council discussion? Now, would you call for the vote?
Councilmember Bailey. Aye. Councilmember Ross.
Aye.
Councilmember Wadler.
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 4-0. Next item on the agenda is discussion decision approval of Stevensville Airport change order. Brian, you're up again.
so this is for the fuel project. So when the fuel project was originally bid out, there were a couple design elements that were identified later on that we wanted to try to get incorporated into the project. One of them, probably the most substantial from a cost standpoint, was something called a reclaim tank. And what that reclaim tank does is all that, so we sample fuel every single day at that airport, and it's about 2 gallons a day. And those 2 gallons then are waste fuel without a reclaim tank. What the reclaim tank does, so you pour the fuel in there, and then it's a closed loop system back to the tank. So then it's a legal way of putting that what otherwise would have been waste fuel from sampling back into the tank. So it actually saves us a tremendous amount of money over its lifespan. Last year we lost almost 700 gallons just from quality control. Those go into lawnmowers and things of that nature, but because there was no legal way for us to put the fuel back in the tank. So that was something that we identified, and then we also, you'll see kind of right behind the fuel tank, there was a little quality control shed that we built. So It's where all of our quality control stuff goes, so our bucket and our API test kit and our filters and all those things just go in there, as opposed to rattling around in the back of my truck. So we identified those two things. When the job or the project was originally bid out, it came in about $120,000 under what our estimate for the project was. So, just kind of to back up and kind of give a sequence into how these things work, we have to request a grant fund before we can actually bid the job out. So, because we have to know that we're going to have the grant from the FAA before we go bid it out, but we have to go and give a cost, to the FAA. So the engineer does an estimate. Then the FAA, in this case, approves that and says, yep, those funds are available to go and build that project. Then we go bid that project out several months later, and the hope is always as it comes in under. Well, it came in about $120,000 under. So this change order still cost us nothing because it came in so far under the FAA's grant authorization that the FAA allowed us, they approved us to use some of those savings to do these extra items that I spoke of.
That's good.
So it was still totally free. It still fell well with under the grant. And the MDT still picks up the share portion of it. So the change order still cost the town nothing, but we were able to improve the project a little bit with that reclaim tank and that little QC shed that we have behind the tank. So that's what this paperwork is it's just kind of finalizing that change order and the final price of the project that we need to memorialize.
Any questions from the council? Any public comment? Okay, motion, please. Councilmember Smith.
I move to approve the Stevensville Airport change order.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, first and second on the floor to approve the Stevensville Airport change order. Is there any discussion from the council? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Janelle?
Councilmember Bailey? Aye. Councilmember Ross?
Aye.
Councilmember Wander?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Hey, motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is discussion decision, resolution 560A, a resolution establishing a temporary contract for public works services for the town of Stevensville. Now, we presently have a contract for Glenn Bees. Glenn is our certified wastewater operator, and he has been with us for some time now, working 8 hours a week. Because we are really shorthanded and we're bringing new people on board. We have one new trainee coming in next Wednesday, right?
Yes.
And we have one existing employee right now that is showing a great interest in certifying that and because our public works supervisor is currently on emergency leave, that we don't exactly know when he's coming back, we need to have the ability to use Mr. Dees for a greater length of time. Now, he is artificially limited by, right now, it's 16 hours a week, is that correct, Gina?
Yeah, he said he could give us at least 16 hours a week.
Okay, so the contract, we've asked for 16 hours a week, and we've asked for an increase in pay, a pay range between 30 and 32 an hour for his services. Now, he does offer these services to other towns right now, other communities, so he's actually in high demand. So we've asked for a range to offer him that. So at this point, I'll open up to the floor for discussion. Councilmember Bailey.
So can you tell us how his salary will be determined between the $30 and $32? Will that fluctuate based on how much we need him, or?
No, that'll be negotiated between the town and Mr. Bees.
Okay, so we could potentially just agree on a rate today rather than have it come back again?
Now,
Go ahead.
so I recommend that we pay him 32 an hour. And the reason that I put that range in there is because we didn't have that amount when we set this, when we were able to put this out, because I was just talking to Glenn. So Glenn, there is a lack of certified water, wastewater operators in the state of Montana. So we aren't the only place he works.
Sure.
So he works at other municipalities, and they're paying him 33 an hour, and some are paying him 35 an hour. And he used to work for us for several years, a lot, like 15, 20 years, something like that. And then he retired, and the reason that the contract was set up at 6 months is because we had an operator that was getting ready to take a wastewater test. And we thought that operator would pass the test, and he didn't. And you can go, let's say I wanted to go take the water wastewater exam and I passed the test. I'm not a certified operator until I have 2.5 years of training, on-the-job training. So if he would have passed the wastewater exam test, we wouldn't have needed him at that point. That's why we did the 6 months. Because we have 2 guys that are interested, we have one of our employees that is interested in getting the wastewater certification. If he was the only one, it would take, if he got certified today, he wouldn't be a certified operator for another 2.5 years. So we would still need Glenn for 2.5 years. The gentleman that we just hired, he has 10 years of experience, but he's not water wastewater certified. He did talk to DEQ, and if he passes his wastewater certification test, then he will be a certified operator. Now, his experience is from Washington, when he was working at the water wastewater plant in Washington. He has a water distribution license, but he needs the water certification and the wastewater certification. So I recommend that we make this at least, a two-year contract, coming back and looking at it in 1 year, because it all depends on when he takes the test. The test is not easy, and I would say 85% don't pass it the first time. So it might take him a little while. He might just pass it. I mean, he's already studying for it. So I don't know. It just depends on this guy. But that was the reason that 6 months was in there, is because we thought somebody would have been certified. We're in a different situation right now, and that's why I think we should look at it. And I think we should give him 32 an hour, because if we don't, and he says, I'm not coming, we are in a world of hurt, because the town absolutely cannot be without a certified water, wastewater operator.
Councilmember Bailey.
So the changes that you guys have made to this resolution are highlighted in yellow, I'm assuming, correct?
I'm sorry, say that
The
again?
changes that you guys have made to this resolution are highlighted in yellow?
Yes.
Okay, so salary range is one we need to look at, and then the 16 hours, this contract says up to 16 hours per week. What was the previous agreement as far as hours? 8?
8.
So I would say that because he's willing to give us a minimum of 16 hours, we should remove that hourly cap per week. Why would we limit ourselves as far as coverage that we need? We only have one employee who can work right now.
Problem is he may not be able to work those hours.
It's totally fine if he's not able to, but why would we limit ourselves as a town as far as how much we can employ him, right? He doesn't have to work 40 hours, but we don't want to limit ourselves to only 16.
Okay, so what would you propose, removing that last sentence on that?
Yes.
On that section 5?
For compensation of services, remove the cap of hours per week. He can work, as much as you and Steve, assign him to work and agree to him to work.
Okay, so,
And then I would also recommend 32 hours or $32 per hour as Junior recommended. I think that seems very reasonable.
okay, so would you like to make a motion to amend this?
Well, I've got a couple more things,
Okay,
if I may. Okay, I wrote it all down. So those would be my first 2 changes. And then talking about this 6-month contract, and currently it says it's a month-to-month contract, which we will review every 6 months. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but if it's a month-to-month contract, then it needs to come back to the council every single month for us to approve it so that you can sign off on it again.
It's actually never been done that way. It's actually the staff has done that review.
Mhm. So the council is not reviewing contracts that are renewed every month? Do you think that we should be?
That's up to council. If you want to do that, you can do that. I don't recommend it. I recommend that you let the administrative staff take care of that.
Then I would recommend a change that we strike the month to month and that we just review it as a council on 6-month terms and that come back to council for review.
Councilmember Smith.
Don't know if I'd agree with striking month to month, because if we get a guy that's certified, then we have, we have that option to,
Yeah, so Glenn would not be obligated and we would not be obligated to employ him for up to 40 hours a week. This is if he wants to work and we would like him to work, then we would pay him to work. This is not he's a full-time employee, we're obligated to pay him 40 hours a week. This is, if we need him on a per diem basis, we call him in and he comes in. So we wouldn't be obligated to pay him every month if we don't use him. This is basically an ad hoc contract. If we need him, we can call him in for up to 40 hours a week at $32, and we review the contract every 6 months.
Okay, so right now I see 3 changes. One, set the fee at $32 an hour, strike the last sentence in section 5, and strike the first sentence in section 6.
Let me see, section 6. Correct. And then my 4th change would be that we should also include in here that Glenn is required to maintain his wastewater certification and hold that certification. It's not written anywhere in here that we need him to be certified to earn this $32 a month, or hour rather.
Okay.
And I think that's an important stipulation.
Okay.
And those are my 4 changes
Okay.
that I would make.
I guess that needs to add another 10.
Do you want to make a motion to that effect? Gina?
So I don't have an issue with him maintaining, I think that's a good addition to make sure he maintains his wastewater certification, and we can definitely add that. But I apologize because I didn't
You're
have an
okay.
issue, so I didn't understand what you said. Did you say that you wanted this to come back every month?
No, I'd like to strike the month to month and it come back to council every 6 months.
So why the 6 months?
Because it's already written in there, 6 months seems like a reasonable time for the town to have different changes. I mean, we could do the 2 years, but I feel like 6 months is already in there. It'd be easy to strike the first sentence of month to month and we can review it. We can always change it at 6 months and say, you know what? Why don't we change this to 3 years or whatever number we decide, but
I think we should start off at a year, because I know we're at least gonna be at a year.
Okay.
That's my feeling.
Okay.
We'll be at a year, and we're not obligated to pay him, he's a contracted provider. He does provide timesheets to me.
Mhm.
Sometimes they're more, but they're not more, because we don't pay him more, like, we said, we'll pay you up to 8 hours, okay? But there were times that he worked 7 or 6, so we only paid him 6. And there were some times that he worked 9, but I'm like, I can only pay you up to 8, okay? And he was fine with that, so we worked that out, that wasn't a problem. I guess, for me, I want to make sure that Glenn wants to stay here and help us, because really, we are at his mercy. And I was telling the mayor the other day, we better pray that nothing happens to him. Because we would be in a world of hurt.
Yeah.
Without Glenn.
I don't see an issue with making it a year. Under section 7, we can terminate the agreement by either party can terminate the agreement. So I see 4 changes. 1, set the wage at $32 an hour. 2, remove the second sentence in clause 5 and 6, remove the first sentence in clause 6, and then change the town will evaluate the continuation agreement each year. Is that acceptable?
To be reviewed by council. It shouldn't be an auto renew that's done by
Right.
administration. It should come back to council.
Okay, so the town council will evaluate the continuation of the agreement each year.
That's what I would say. If we're gonna move to a year, it absolutely needs to come back to our council. Do I need to make a motion for each change? Do you think that'd be easier so that we can fill?
Yeah,
Or maybe someone else has changes or something that they
Can I repeat them back first?
yes, please.
Can we? Okay. So you have stated number 5, town shall pay contractor 32 per hour
can.
for work performed within the scope of this agreement. You want to strike the next sentence?
Correct,
The contractor is authorized to work up to 16 hours per week.
correct.
You don't want it limited, you're not gonna limit.
I wouldn't limit. I would leave that up to Steve and Jim to determine how much they need him. I mean, if he's the only one who's certified and we've got something going on, and we're like, sorry, we can't pay you for over 40 hours, we kind of step on our own feet. I trust our administration and our leadership to use it appropriately.
So if he's available to work 18 hours, we can authorize him 18. Councilmember Ross.
Gina, do you see an advantage to cost protection of setting a limit of some sort? It's like, so that it can't just be overused?
Yeah, I mean, normally, yes, but because Glenn works at different municipalities, I don't think he can do more than that anyway. I kind of do like a limit, but I think it depends on kind of where we are right now. We're in kind of a weird, funky place. I really don't think Glenn's gonna be doing much more than 16 hours a week. And if he does, then we'll have a conversation with him. But I think it's gonna depend on the needs of the plant. I really do. I would feel comfortable taking that out with Glenn, just because I know him. I don't have a problem with that.
Janelle. Yeah.
What did we budget for Glenn's services in our 26-27?
We budgeted 16 hours because that's what he told Robert. We did budget that 16 hours, so.
Councilmember Bailey.
Who approves or allows Glenn to work for the town? Like, who calls him in? Does he come in and create his own schedule and his own hours?
He has a schedule.
He has a schedule that is approved by Steve?
Yeah. Yes, but ultimately through me,
Okay,
Councilmember Ross.
Actually, so the plant sets Glenn's schedule because he has to come in on Mondays because all the reporting is done on Mondays.
Right.
And so the plant itself kind of dictates his schedule for us. The other hours, the other 8 hours are going to be here training those guys on the plant. So for that Monday, for 8 hours, the plant sets that schedule. The other 8 hours will be scheduled between Stephen and Glenn.
okay.
And the mayor's office actively monitors what's going on down there.
And Stephen signs his hours.
Councilmember Ross.
Just for my own clarification, which account does this get paid out of?
They come out of water and wastewater.
Okay. So,
I think Janelle was reading back the changes before we moved forward with the motion.
Okay, so we're still on number 5, $32, striking the last sentence.
correct.
Yes.
Number 6, striking the first sentence. And then it'll state, the town will evaluate the continuation of the agreement for 1 year, parentheses, 12 months,
12 months.
to be reviewed by council
Annually.
annually.
Yes.
Okay,
Any other changes?
And then the addition of his certification to be maintained.
Must maintain his water certification.
Would you like me to make a motion for each change? So that, because
Yes,
it's on
let
the.
Janelle make sure she's got them all done first.
let's put,
I would
right after
recommend,
number 3, make a new number 4. Contractor
Responsibilities.
responsibilities, yep. To maintain water/wastewater certifications, and then I'll just bump all the rest of the numbers down. And then your last number now will be a 10 instead of a 9. Okay?
now would be a good time for your motion. Well, any public comment?
Do it quick before you forget this.
Now would be a
I've
good.
already got the one I remember. I'd like to make a motion that we add in the requirement for Glenn to maintain his wastewater certification.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay, any discussion? So there's a motion on the floor to add in that the contractor maintain his water wastewater certification during the term of the contract. Is that agreed upon? Okay. Can I have any further council discussion on that? Did you vote on that amendment? Janelle, call the vote for the amendment.
Councilmember Bailey?
Aye.
Councilmember Ross?
Aye.
Councilmember Wandler? And Councilmember Smith?
Was there a motion for the other changes?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, are you ready to make those changes?
I'm on my way right now. So my next motion would be to number 5, compensation for services, that town shall pay contractor $32 per hour for work performed within the scope of this agreement.
Are you gonna do a motion for each change? or-
Yep, I think that makes sense, but we might have some.
Is there a second on that?
A second.
Okay, Councilmember Smith, second, says motion on the floor for the town to pay the contractor $32 an hour for work performed within the scope of the agreement. Is there any public comment? Any council comment? Janelle, call for vote on the amendment.
Councilmember Bailey?
Aye.
Councilmember Ross?
Aye.
Councilmember Wandler? And Councilmember Smith?
Okay, Councilmember Bailey.
All right, my third motion would be, and Janelle, you're gonna have to help me with this, duration of the agreement. I would like to strike this agreement is a month-to-month contract.
Step back one. You need to strike the second sentence of number 5.
Okay, we'll do that one. I would like to make a motion, that we strike the contractor is authorized to work up to 16 hours per week from the current.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor to strike the second sentence in section 5 of the contract. Is there a second? Councilmember Wander. Is there any public comment? Is there any council comment? Councilmember Ross.
I'm fine with not having a limit. I just think it's worth considering in the future if we do get a new contractor that we reevaluate as needed. Or if it becomes an issue, we can look at changing that.
Okay.
We would hope that we wouldn't have to have another contractor because 1 or 2 of them will have passed and then we wouldn't have to have this.
In the past few years, we haven't been very aggressive on our training. That has changed. We are going to get people certified one way or the other.
Yep, I'm fine with it all, just clarifying that it should be considered, if it becomes a problem and we're charging an excessive amount of hours, that we need to come back and look at that, or if we have a new contractor hired, we need to consider looking at it again.
Okay? Noted. Councilmember Smith.
Just to be clear, once again, the director and yourself are in charge of how many hours he actually works.
Correct.
Okay.
It will be monitored closely. Gina.
And those claims will always come through council once a month. you'll see the claim for Glen Beach, and I'll make sure that the hours are on there so that you guys can see.
You're already seeing those.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, Janelle, what's the motion on the floor?
The motion is to strike the second sentence of number 5.
Okay.
And Councilmember Wandler was the second.
Okay, any further council discussion on that? Janelle, would you please take the vote on that amendment?
Councilmember Bailey?
Aye.
Councilmember Ross?
Aye.
Councilmember Wandler?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Okay, my next motion, if I may.
Yes, please.
I would like to strike from number 6, this agreement is a month-to-month contract.
Okay, so the motion on the floor, you want to make it one whole motion, or you just want to?
Whatever you would like me to do. Let's just go with that.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor to strike the first sentence in clause 6 of the contract. Is there a second? Councilmember Ross. Any public comment? Okay, any council comment? Okay, Janelle, would you call for the vote?
Councilmember Bailey?
Aye.
Councilmember Ross?
Aye.
Councilmember Wandler?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And Councilmember Bailey.
One more motion here, I'm sorry, you guys, this is painful, I apologize. I would like to make a motion that we amend item number 6, and Janelle, if you could read me what we drafted out.
The town will evaluate the continuation of the agreement for 1 year, parentheses, 12 months, to be reviewed by council annually.
Okay, so the motion on the floor, to amend clause 6 to say, the town will evaluate the continuation of the agreement for 1 year, 12 months annually.
To be reviewed by
By the
council.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a first and second on the floor to amend, clause 6 of the contract such that it reads that it's a 1 year and will be reviewed by council annually each year. Any public comment? Any further council comment? Janelle, would you call for the vote, please?
Councilmember Bailey?
Aye.
Councilmember Ross?
Aye.
Councilmember Wandler? And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
So now you need to make a motion to approve the contract as amended.
If I may.
Councilman?
You're on a roll.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 568 with the approved edits as discussed during this meeting. A resolution establishing a temporary contract for public works services for the town of Stevensville.
Okay, is there a second? Councilmember Ross. Okay. So the first and second on the floor to approve resolution 560A, resolution establishing a temporary contract for public works services for the town of Stevensville with edits as annotated. Okay? Is there any public comment? Any council comment? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Bailey?
Aye.
Councilmember Ross?
Aye.
Councilmember Wandler? And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Thank you. I think that about does it, doesn't it? Let's see. I don't wear my bifocals very often. Okay, could I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And, thank you.
Good job.
Yes.
Your MBA is coming in handy. Thank you very much for doing that.